everybody, and welcome back to Colin's Crazy Creatures. I'm here at That Fish Place, That Pet Place for a special event called That Reptile Encounter. And this store is practically anything you need to take care of basically any pet. But I'm here specifically for the reptiles. And my coverage of the event will be getting a tour of the Reptile Room. The Lancaster Herpetological Society will be introducing people to snakes. Forgotten Friends will be doing a presentation, and there will also be a Zoom Ed sales rep. So let's get into it.
As you can see, this is a massive store, and it doesn't even include the room that has the fish in it. The Reptile Room has many enclosures that house reptiles, amphibians, and invertebrates, and there is also live plants, live feeders, and also a freezer full of rodents.
This is a Jackson's chameleon. Jackson's chameleons have 3 horns on their head that make them look like triceratops, and all chameleons need a highly ventilated enclosure. And I think because of the cool 3 horns, that he looks really cool. This is a mole king snake. This one's still a baby, and they have other names like the prairie king snake. And in the wild, they will actually eat rattlesnakes, which I think that is really cool. This is a Pikachu Pac-Man frog. They get the name Pikachu Pac-Man frog because Pikachu is a yellow Pokemon with red cheek spots, and this is a yellow frog with red spots. And I think that he looks really cool. This is a bug-eyed Leucistic Texas Rat snake. It is generally just a regular Leucistic rat snake, except that it has a gene deformality inside it that makes its eyes pop out. And it doesn't have any long-term effects, but it does make it a little bit hard for it to focus on prey. And I think that because it has bug eyes, it's really cool.
We'll get back to the Reptile Room, but for now, let's go look at the other features of That Reptile Encounter. This is one of Forgotten Friends' large sulcata tortoises that had free range of the place, but it wasn't alone all the time because it made many new friends.
This is Ben, the Zoom Ed rep, and can you tell us about the enclosures you have on display?
Sure. That Fish Place is a great partner of ours, has been for many, many, many years. So when they do their reptile events, I tend to come here and display a few of the products that we manufacture and they sell for us here in the store. Over here on my right is one of our small paludariums. The idea behind a paludarium is that it's part land, part water. So your semi-aquatic species have a place provided for both. And also the option to even put fish in the bottom of the display. And then over here I brought a 40-gallon terrarium, 36 by 18 by 18. Set up as more of a bioactive display. False bottom with hydroballs, mesh, you know, our Reptisoil, you know, live plants to kind of give the idea of a display that is fully set up and bioactive for any reptile you would want to put into it.
Thank you, Ben.
You're quite welcome.
The Lancaster Herpetological Society was on hand to introduce people to snakes and let them hold them.
There you go.
Next up is Jesse Rothecker and Forgotten Friends, and I thought it was really cool for me to help out.
Oh wow, my self-esteem just went up so high. Well, my name is Jesse Rothecker, and I brought some reptiles to show you today. How many of you guys love animals as much as we do? Oh cool, you guys are at the right place. Isn't this cool being one of the biggest pet stores in the whole world? Right here in Lancaster. And on one of the best days, the Reptile Encounter Day. So today we'll encounter a few reptiles. How many of you guys have had a chance to encounter a few reptiles already? Very good. This is a special place for us to do a show because we do a lot of shows in schools and churches and libraries and birthdays where people don't know much about reptiles or they don't even like reptiles. But coming to the fish place, it's a special place because usually about half of people not only like reptiles, but you live with reptiles. How many of you guys have some reptiles? Raise your hand.
Jesse actively introduced the audience to snakes. He also showed the audience this really cool gator and several turtles.
What turtle do we have here? Not a Teenage Mutant Ninja. Oh, very good. I heard box, and who said Eastern box? Very good. Turtle Man said Eastern box over here. I talked to a couple people today that are great turtle fans. So this is an Eastern box turtle. How many of you guys have found box turtles in the wild over the years? How many grown-ups feel like you used to see box turtles more often years ago than what you see today?
And next up are the big lizards, like this green iguana and this black and white Argentine tegu. And finally, the big snakes. The carpet python was a handful, but the retic...
In Lancaster, right here in Lancaster, someone found this giant python in their backyard. And so they called the number that most people call an emergency. What number do you think that was? They called 911. And now it's kind of funny. If you ever watch the show Cops, you see him handling this giant boa constrictor in the beginning theme music of the show Cops. Well, when they called 911 here in Lancaster, guess what the cops said? And they called someone else. And so the very next call they made, I believe, was to that fish place. And so that fish place said they could help take it in and rescue it. And so the homeowners, not even snake people, managed to catch this snake in a trash can. They brought it into that fish place, and then who do you think that fish place called? Then they called us. So we came in to help this girl out. The day that we found her, this is about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, she looked relatively healthy.
And now more of the Reptile Room.
This is a green basilisk. Basilisks are really cool because they can run on water using air bubbles that they create underneath their feet. And this one's still a baby, but they can get to 2 to 3 feet in length, including tail, and the males will have a huge crest on their head. And they're also related to iguanas. This is a Sulawesi water skink. They're from the island of Sulawesi in Indonesia, and they're also called bacon skinks. And because I like bacon, I really like this skink. This is a camel spider. They're not really spiders, but they are arachnids, and they're from a really hot part of the desert, so in the wild, they will actually chase people. Well, not really chase them, they're just following them so they can get into the shadow. And they do need a little bit more heat than other invertebrates. And the fact that they'll actually follow people in the wild is pretty cool. This is Basil the ball python. She is a regular ball python, but she is quite large and is the store pet.
I was so excited and there were so many things going on, I actually forgot to shoot an outro. And I'm more exhausted than I would be coming home from a reptile expo, but that reptile encounter was much better than any reptile expo I've ever been to. It was really cool to tour the reptile room, and all the staff members were very nice. And it was also cool to introduce people to snakes when they have never held one before with the Lancaster Herpetological Society. And it was also very fun to help Jesse with his presentation. And overall, everyone who attended the event looked like they had a great time. And I would also like to include that there are 2 coupons, 40% off any one reptile, and 15% off all reptile supplies. So, I got myself a new friend and all the things I need to take care of him. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and see you next time on Colin's Crazy Creatures.